Yes, it's now 14 minutes past 2, and I'm very pleased to welcome to the studio photographer Wayne Rowe. Amongst his many attributes, he describes himself as a humanitarian photographer. He's just turned from Haiti, and he says he wasn't prepared for what he saw. Why did you go over there in the first place?
Basically, I was asked by an international aid organisation called Outreach International, based in the US. They asked me to go out and go along with an assessment team to look at the schools. They're involved in 90 schools within Haiti, have been for the last 20 years. But of course, many of those schools have either been demolished or badly damaged. And they wanted me to go over there and take photos of the situation. And I'll probably be going back later, maybe in another 5 or 6 months' time, to see how things have improved, hopefully.
Well, I've got some photographs in front of me. Have they appeared on your web? I know one of these photographs is on your website. Have the rest appeared there yet?
No, not yet.
Oh,
so you're
hot off the press.
Hot off the press, yeah.
So we've got a schoolroom here with a very basic bench to work at. In fact, even before the earthquake, it doesn't look much. It doesn't look as though it had a lot, because it all seems to be breeze blocks with a blackboard or a green board to chalk on, that's about it. But obviously, when you got there, it was even worse.
Yeah, that's right. You know, it's very basic, the classrooms were anyway. But when I got there, what you can't see in that particular photo is the wall behind has totally collapsed. But again, within the photo, you'll see that there's a child's satchel, and there's some crayons that's just strewn on the floor. And basically what happened at the earthquake, one of the teachers explained to me, was that the children just screamed and they ran out and just left everything. And I think that image pretty much depicts that.
Yes, just a sort of it's a bag left there in the foreground, as you say, the set square and compasses and crayons, and that's it.
Yes.
My goodness. When are they going to get that back to normal?
It's going to take years. It really is.
But they've got to be educated.
What is happening, that Outreach International is trying to do at the moment, and I saw this firsthand, was that they are setting up temporary schools. It's just a simple tarpaulin over the heads just to stop any rain that comes, and they've salvaged whatever materials they could from the demolished buildings, so they may have some benches, and the teachers are just doing the best, but the children are psychologically damaged.
So if you're off school at the moment listening to this, my interview with Wayne, count your blessings.
Absolutely, those children really do want to go to school. They want to learn. It's a bit different from this country, I'm afraid.
Yeah. You've got a picture here which it's something we almost, isn't it terrible to say this? We're almost used to seeing people on rubbish tips ferreting around, and so when I first saw that, I probably was in India, pictures in India, I was shocked, but now to see a chap sort of walking around on a rubbish tip, think, oh yeah, well, that's what happens. Isn't it awful how we get anaesthetised?
Absolutely, and he was actually washing himself in that water that is in between all of that litter. And it's a concern for the future for Haiti, really, because a lot of that litter that you see there, it's the least of their worries at the moment, least of their problems. But when the rains come next month, then they're going to have a real problem with contamination of water. So that's kind of the next problem that they're going to face in a month's time.
What I like about you, apart from the fact you're obviously a caring person, is the fact that you haven't just gone in and taken photographs. Sometimes a photographer will go in and take shocking photos and get the hell out as fast as possible. You've spoken to the people, haven't you?
Absolutely, and it's really important for me to speak to the families, to speak to the people first. You know, I don't want to thrust a camera straight into the people's face. I want to speak to them, to hear their stories first. And that's what I did. It actually caused a little bit of difficulty for me this time in Haiti because I thought, my understanding was that people had water, that they had the basic amount of food and some shelter. As I spoke to those people, that is not the case at all, certainly for them. They don't have access to water, they don't have access to food or simple shelter. Many of them are just living on the streets. In fact, I had one woman come to me and say, would you take my daughter? I can't look after her, I can't feed her, I can't give her water, I need somebody to look after her, would you please take her?
What do you say in a situation like that?
You know, the sense of desperation, I have no idea what that woman must have been going through. Obviously, I couldn't,
no.
But the aid organisations that are there need to just try their very best to make sure that their basic needs are dealt with.
More from Wayne Rowe in a moment. We're talking about Haiti. It's 19 minutes past 2. Wayne Rowe comes from Sutton in Ashfield, and is now travelling the world as a humanitarian photographer, in particular coming back from Haiti and seeing some of the sites there. See, it's gone off the news agenda now, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. For the first 2 weeks, that's all you saw on the television, on the news, but then it's gone quiet. And that's one of the messages that I said to the people over in Haiti that I met, that one of my roles is to try and put it back onto the radar for people.
But how are you going to do that? Because we've seen it all now, haven't we?
You have,
I'm sorry, that's a bit glib, but you know what I mean.
I understand, yeah, but the aid organisations try to get this information out to as many people as possible, people that are prepared to donate money to help these people in the long-term future. Because a lot of people gave money initially, and that was great, that was needed, but as you say, it's going to take years for these to be rebuilt.
Did you get the feeling that the aid had made it there? Because there was a lot of controversy about that, wasn't there?
The areas that I went to, I have to say that I didn't see much of the aid that had got through, especially because these people were saying, I need water. They were begging me for food. So for those communities, no, I didn't really see that much of the initial aid that was coming in. But driving around Port-au-Prince, you did see aid organisations all over the place. But there are millions of people that have been affected. To get to those people, it's a hard task.
Yeah, Haiti's a big area, isn't it?
It is, yeah, absolutely. And Port-au-Prince, obviously being the capital city of Haiti, and badly demolished, I can't even imagine what those people went through.
You're going to go back?
Yeah, I'm looking to go back in another couple of weeks' time with a different organisation this time. So I'll wait and see what faces me then.
You're a one of your attributes, and it isn't the only photography you do, you describe yourself as a humanitarian photographer. So what does that mean, and where have you been?
I suppose humanitarian photographer means that I am looking to touch the lives of people, or to portray the lives of people that are living in poverty, to try and make a difference through the images that I take. That's not just to have people just look at my images, but to respond to them and to be able to help those people. That's really important, that I only take images of people that I feel that will be affected and helped somehow by aid organisations.
Well, at the moment it's early days. You've only recently returned from Haiti, so it's early days, and the photographs, okay, I've got them in front of me. Mm-hmm. The people who commissioned them are looking at them now, and in the end they will be released to the public. But what about other places you've been to? Do you feel that because of your photographs things have changed?
Yeah, I went to the Philippines back in November, and people actually say to me, how do you actually cope with seeing all these situations? But the reason and the way that I cope is that I do see hope, and that's what I saw in the Philippines. Even though there was an incredible amount of poverty, I did see how the aid organisations had been working with those communities to make their lives better. Okay, they're nowhere near what our lives are like, but as far as they're concerned, they are better. They do have those basic needs of water and food and simple shelter. So that's kind of how I get through.
Where else have you been?
I've also been to Nicaragua, and I'm due to go to the likes of Africa, Bolivia and India later on this year.
What an amazing job.
Yeah, it's the best job in the world.
Yeah.
But it's not glamorous.
No, it's not glamorous, but you're there you are, you're doing, I assume your love is photography, one of your loves is photography.
Yeah.
There you are doing a job you love, but also feeling as though it's not sort of confetti, it's actually meaningful.
Yeah, that's right. I've not been a photographer all my life, or certainly not a professional
what did you do before
I was
then?
in business management. Well, before that I worked for British Coal. Obviously coming from this area, many people went into that industry.
And where did you work for British Coal?
I worked at numerous places, Clipston, Cresswell, places like that, so quite a few different locations, but that was only for a few years, and then I worked in business management only until really the end of 2008, beginning of 2009, and I had the opportunity then to go a different direction in my career, to take photography, which I've always loved, and then to combine it with helping people, and that's what I now have the opportunity to do.
Amazing.
It's great.
I was at Clipston yesterday, standing by the old headstocks.
Yeah.
They are, I mean, it's hard to explain to the local people, and I understand why, because below the headstocks it's a tip, it's a mess. But when you see them sticking out and you drive towards them from, say, the A614, you gasp when you see them. I think it looks fantastic.
I was told that I would have a job for life when I had an interview for
Yes.
British Coal.
So was I.
No, right, okay.
It's 20